Hey everyone, and welcome to our long-awaited, I guess, maybe not, I don't know, commentary of the theatrical cut of Justice League in honor of its 1-year anniversary since its release. You can already tell by the enthusiasm in my voice how excited I am for this. So for anyone who's a new listener, we are my name's Nick, by the way. And some of the people joining me today for this commentary are my fellow members of the DC Films podcast, which is up on my YouTube channel. So, not everyone's here, but some of them are here listening or are just here watching along and yelling along with me. So, for those of you who are here, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves to the listeners.
Hi, I'm Jean. I'm Bad Activity on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Outspeed, and I'm the Speed of the Oppressed on Tumblr.
I'm Danielle, and I'm a Social Justice League on Tumblr.
And then also we have Fatma here. She Stay Awesome Gotham on Tumblr, and she'll be listening along. Unfortunately, she can't be here to voice her opinions through her own voice, but she'll be typing and sharing her thoughts that way. And then, of course, my name's Nick. You guys can find me here at Nerdy Nick on YouTube, True Man of Steel on Twitter, on Tumblr as well. So, Justice League. If you guys are any of you guys are listeners to our DC Films podcast, you guys know our opinions on this movie. Going into this rewatch for this commentary, it's definitely going to be interesting because I myself haven't watched the movie in its entirety since it was in theaters. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces, of course, like when the movie came out digitally. I mean, we're all teased with like the few scenes that Zack shot of Superman and the scout ship and all that stuff. And I'm one of the few DCEU fans who actually bought the movie. So, so actually, that's how we're all watching it, is because I bought the movie and I'm giving everyone my account info. Because we don't believe it.
Why did you buy it? For the record, for anyone who follows me, I did not purchase this movie. I will not purchase this movie. It's not going to happen. Just so we laid that out. That is my political stance on that.
And honestly, the only reason I even bought go ahead.
But no, I said if ever I bought this movie, it was solely because of the ending scene with Superman. And even then, that's a very, very, very large maybe.
Well, for me, like, the main reason I bought it to begin with was because at the time they were teasing the scout ship scene. And we thought it was going to end up being a lot more than what it was. And then, like, right before it came out, they're like, oh, it's only like a minute. It's like just under 2 minutes of footage that's not even actually included in the cut of the movie. So it's not like a Suicide Squad, it's not like a BVS where it's like, oh, here was like an extended cut or like a director's cut. No, they literally took like Zack's scenes and were like, no. Here's Zack's scenes in this little box, and then here's the movie we're forcing you to see.
Oh yeah, everything good from Justice League has basically been leaked. You can get it online.
Yeah.
And it's in snippets. It's rough, but it's in snippets. And we've done great jobs, like making new versions of this film.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like I'll talk a lot of crap about Joss in this movie. Like that, there's no like, don't go in thinking I'm a fan of Joss Whedon at all. However, there are certain scenes in here that aren't terrible. Like certain scenes were like, okay, like Joss kind of sort of understood what to do with his character in this particular moment. But those moments.
Like, no, it just felt like there were some scenes where it's like he didn't see fit to touch them enough, and so it turned out all right. You know?
Yeah.
It's like he didn't add too much to it, and so Zack's vision peeks through just enough to redeem the scene. You know, like you can feel it. You can feel the difference. It's like what I was saying before we started recording. For my friends who like movies who aren't necessarily into like the comic book movie scene, Justice League is just a pretty mediocre movie. Like it's nothing fantastic, but it's not like terrible. It's just, as a DC fan, knowing what our expectations were for Justice League going in, it's just absolutely crushing. But like overall, it's not terrible, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I can feel the discontent.
I think that is a totally, I think that's a totally valid perspective on this film, and I can see how some people can get there, but I just cannot get there. Like,
personally, I think it's a piece of shit.
I can't believe that this is a movie that made it into theaters. Like, that's the thing that was so harrowing for me the first time I watched it. I was like, they released this? They put this out with their name on it? They said, we want this. We want Warner Brothers to have the freaking logo at the beginning of this film. This film is so bad. It is one of the worst things I've ever seen in a theater. And, like, I've seen Kangaroo Jack in theaters. Like, I'm saying it is a really, really objectively bad film. And this is me, like, I'm saying, like, and I'll be really, really real about this. Like, I don't like Ragnarok, but I'm not going to tell anybody it's a bad film because I know better. Like,
I will.
Objectively speaking, Ragnarok did what it was set out to do. Objectively speaking, Justice League doesn't know what the fuck it wants to do. It doesn't accomplish anything, and it's a complete mess from beginning to end. Like, it looks terrible. It feels terrible. I mean, it's there for fanboys who wanted to see a couple minutes of Justice League animated in live action, and they got what they wanted. But did they get a good film out of it? I don't think so. Like, I can't really say that this was ever a good film from any valid perspective. But, like,
yeah, I know, it's just like it's like catering to fanboys, but at what cost? You know?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, is that they're like, I don't even know who this was for. I mean, I think it was for the people who really hated the DCEU so far, but, like, even they were like, hold on, what the fuck? Like, what's happening here? Like, it's you can't make a whole new movie based on the last two movies and just do something totally, like, you can't. This is a great example of, like, why we need people to understand how collaboration works, is because you can't just pick up a thread of narrative and just say, oh yeah, I'm going to do that, but, like, everything totally different. And it's not even like Joss just decided to make a whole new film. It's that there's some sort of, like, terrible Frankenstein between Zack and Joss, where we have, like, two completely different aesthetics totally clashing. Because, like, I kind of like Joss's stupid action figure aesthetic. Like, I'm kind of into it. Like, I'm a longtime Buffy fan. I'm a longtime Angel fan. I like the way that he shoots things. I thought Serenity was one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen, visually speaking. But, like, you can't mesh that with what Zack was already doing. I mean, everything in this movie, the nuts and bolts are designed to go into a specific aesthetic. And if you take those costumes out of there, if you take these actors out of there, if you take all of these choices that he made out of there and try to stick it into this action figure aesthetic that Joss has, it looks crazy. It looks terrible. And, like,
Okay, Danielle. Okay, like, can we just hold on? We haven't started the movie yet.
I could be in this pulpit for literally hours. Like you need to stop me, because I
okay,
can't.
guys, okay, you know what? We can do this again, like, after we've actually watched the movie again.
Well, also,
yeah, we should actually start this movie, because
okay.
I actually don't have time to talk as much as I need to talk about this.
Okay, and also real quick,
okay, let's start.
Also, Rebecca's here.
By the way.
Hey, Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca, by the way.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I was like, I should go to the bathroom. I don't know when they're gonna start, and now we're, like, starting, and I'm like, crap. Yeah.
That's okay.
We haven't started the movie yet, though, because I had to just apparently barf feelings all over the podcast for a minute, so...
So for anyone who's brave enough to watch along with us, I'll do a countdown so that way we can all try to be at least as synced up as possible.
Okay, does anyone else absolutely hate the cover, too? Like, the way that the DVD cover looks?
Oh, it's terrible. Like,
it looks like garbage. Like, wow.
Wait, like the DVD or Blu-ray cover, or like the digital cover of, like, the blue background and they're all just kind of floating around?
The blue background, they're all just floating around.
Oh god, I hate that so much. Like, honestly, it's very fitting of the movie itself because it looks so shitty.
Yeah, it is. It's fitting, but that's kind of why it hurts more. It's like, that's how it should look. But it's painful. Oh my god, I've, like, dreamed of this moment for so long, just, like, watching this horrible movie with you guys. Like, it's amazing. And also, it's kind of interesting, like, I feel like, I don't know if a lot of people went through this, but, like, that feeling, like, watching it the first time and being like, yeah, and then, like, as time went on, like, the horror slowly crept in and you realize that something isn't right about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw it the first time and I was like, cool, and then I thought about it, so, like, every day that went by, like, was the less and less I felt...
I'm like much too much of a Superman asshole for that to have ever happened. Like, just feel like I came in, but I also don't like the DCEU. Like, there's nothing in the DCEU that pleases me.
Not even the animated, not even Superman the animated series at all.
No. I watched the entire thing trying to like it, and it was no, can't.
I mean, wow.
Like, that's like the level at which I'm at. Like,
wow.
And that's Lois and Clark passes the bar, like, barely over the edge. There are a couple episodes that make me so angry.
Alex, it seems like there's a lot of stuff, because I remember I was like watching you as you would like live tweet about Lois and Clark, and I'm like, how does this pass? But like Superman the animated series doesn't.
Dean Cain is so variable, but Terry Hatcher is just like fucking even keel. She's so good in every episode. She's so Lois in every episode. She kills it consistently. And Dean Cain is like a freaking roller coaster. Half of the time, I want to punch him in the face, and half of the time, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I get this.
Like, honestly, like, I'm at a point where, like, there was a point where I really wanted to rewatch Lois and Clark. But after the shit that Dean Cain's been saying, I have nothing. I don't want to give him even the time of day. Like,
wait, what happened with Dean Cain? I actually don't know. Can you recap?
Oh my god, Dean Cain's a monster. I don't even know where to begin. Like,
what happened?
Dean Cain is a terrible fucking person. Dean Cain is a Trump voter who hates everything, and is like an open racist and an open homophobe and open, like, he's an awful, awful person. He's the worst Superman actor ever.
Isn't it, like, shouldn't it, like, be a requirement that if you're gonna play Superman, you should be, like, pretty liberal?
I mean, you would think that this is the thing, is that I think Dean Cain is the start. Dean Cain, that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with Lois and Clark on the whole, is that Dean Cain was kind of the start of conservatives trying to, like, steal Superman back from the liberals. And there's all this low level background radiation conservative bullshit in Lois and Clark that sort of only touches underneath, and it's not quite surface level, because on one hand you have an extremely feminist show that definitely adheres to that feminism really closely when it comes to Lois, but then you have like Superman doing like terrible things and being like really flat and not emotive and sort of like just like a traditional sort of masculinity, and like smoking like he's never smoked before, and doing a lot of shit that's just not okay with me as far as like Superman characterization. And you see it in Smallville too. You see it like the sort of like this tug of war over like who Superman is, and a bunch of conservatives being like, Superman is a, alt-right conservative Christian from the heart of the Midwest. And it's like, the heart of the Midwest isn't even all that conservative. Like, what are you guys talking about? That's the reason I'm so crazy about people trying to characterize Kansas as if it's in the Deep South. Because, like, Kansas is, like, not too far from where I live. Like, I could drive to Kansas right now in a day. And like, it's culturally, it's not that far off of where I live, and it's like, it's totally wild for them to be like, well, he grew up on a farm, that means he's a Southern boy. And I'm like, not really. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like, I think part of that rhetoric is taking him back for Christianity, taking him back for conservatives, and taking him back for stupid racists who want to use him as like sort of like a white supremacist ideal, which is the exact opposite of the entire original idea.
All right, so I think now is a good time to start, okay? Is everyone ready for the countdown? 10 minutes later.
Sure.
Okay. So everyone listening,
you ready?
Listening along, watching along. Okay. I guess we get in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. God help us.
There it is.
Don't forget Artyom's thing that he wanted us to say.
Oh yeah, where is it?
Al's gonna be in the comments. I'm trying to open the chat right now, but it's giving me... It's taking a minute.
Isn't it hilarious how they took out the Rat Pack Dune Entertainment thing? Because what's his name is a fucking asshole.
What's his name?
Oh, Brett Ratner, I think, is like his production company.
Yeah. They should have just put a mutant enemy logo at the end of this motherfucker, honestly.
Honestly, I still love that DC intro. Like, I'm never gonna get over it.
You guys like that?
It's really beautiful. Like, there's no getting around that.
Oh god, here we go.
Oh my god.
Okay, this is Artyom's line. Okay, there was a time I had phobias. Now all that terrifies me is his fucking face.
I'm trying to get to it, but it's like giving me hell.
Oh my gosh, guys, we have to quote what Artyom told us to say.
I literally just said it and everyone was talking over me.
He said, there was a time I had phobias. Now, all that terrifies me is this fucking face.
Oh my god, what were they thinking?
But, like, here's the thing, the face is one thing, but, like, the dialogue is also a fucking problem here. Like,
oh my god.
What, is this the way Superman talks to children? It's so fucking condescending. It makes me want to cry.
God,
I'm literally not even looking at the screen right now. Like, I prefer to, like, try and open
Who thought it was a good idea to bring Hugo Weaving into play Superman last minute?
Oh, this is the Zack part. Everybody pay attention. This is the Zack part right now.
Actually, honestly, I don't know if this is a Zack part. Okay.
It's the most important part.
Yeah. I forgot how this movie goes.
This
is the thing, is that they have this beautiful... They have this beautiful intro.
Daniel, shh!
No!
Okay, can I talk about this god and how he puts a pen with his name? Like, I'm just like, yes. Like, I don't know why I love it. I just love it. Okay, and when I first saw the movie, I totally noticed Batman's, like, shadow in that mirror and a mirror window, and I just, like, I was like, that's...
Y'all, there's so much more garbage here than there is beauty. I just, ugh.
See, when I saw this scene, I wasn't sure if it was Zack or not, but I was like, it doesn't look that amazing, but I do kind of like it a little bit, so I'm not sure.
It's conclusively Joss, the actor.
Yeah,
the actor.
That's why it kind of hurts. I'm like, okay, Joss is a complete shit, but like, he's mostly shit.
I like don't understand why this is him just picking on a random thug. Like, I'm annoyed.
The really like rapid and awkward cuts and like the really odd angles of that they're shooting the action. It's just it's very.
I can smell it.
I mean, I know in the theater I was like, this is fine, whatever.
Yeah. Like, it didn't, like, this didn't bother me. This is the one Joss thing that didn't really bother me.
No, it's fine. That's the thing. It's fine, but it's not, you know.
It's not Zack.
It's not what I wanted, but it's fine. I mean, I would have been fine with a movie full of this if it hadn't been such a mixed bag.
Okay, honestly, this scene is kind of ugly. I'm just... this part of the scene right now.
And how did they end up back on the same roof?
Does not look good.
It's focused on making Batman look cool and not much else. I mean, and that's the thing. That's the way he shoots. He shoots for action figure stuff. I just feel like this scene is here because Josh couldn't stop himself from starting with Batman.
Well, low-key started with Superman, but not really.
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing, is like, he added Superman ahead of time, like, oh, isn't it sad Superman's dead? And then he was like, well, this Justice League is just gonna kick off with Batman like this.
Matches the other sightings.
Honestly, Joss...
This is our Batcave.
Joss is so stupid that he made Batman say Alfred's name in front of a...
For real. Yeah,
like,
Alfred.
That's how stupid this man is. Oh my god, I hate the dialogue. It's not good.
It's really bad.
It's not good. Oh my god.
One of my
Zack.
favorite parts of the movie right here.
Zach.
Here it comes.
Finally.
Okay.
This is the salvageable part of Justice League right here.
Turn that shit up.
Silence, complete silence, guys.
I'll just be weeping softly.
Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight was fixed. The poor stay poor, the rich get rich.
Imagine a movie that opens with this. Oh,
Everybody,
just this.
everybody knows that the boat is leaving. Everybody knows that the captain died. Everybody got this broken feeling.
How long has it been that they didn't clean up that rubble?
Or their dog just died.
Months at least.
Everybody
That's wild. That's indicative of just how devastating this is.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's how it goes. Everybody knows.
Who's the third guy in that headline?
I don't know. It looks
I
like
have
a
no
music.
idea.
I don't know.
I see Prince, I see Superman, and then I don't know who the third person is.
Coming. Everybody knows that it's moving fast. Everybody knows that the naked man and woman are just a shining artifact of the past. Everybody knows it's coming apart.
Oh shit. This shit is so fucking good.
Before it blows.
Why wouldn't they let him take 5 or 6 years to make this amazing movie he was gonna make? Jesus
Because they're
fuck.
idiots and they don't know. They don't understand.
So stupid.
Just imagine a movie that like every second of it was just that emotionally powerful.
Can you imagine?
Oh
I would have
my
been
God.
like dead. I would have died. And it would have
Honestly.
been fine. I would have been so
Would have
happy about
died.
it.
I would have sold my soul right there in the cinema.
And Al says, how badass of Zack to include a skinhead harassing a Muslim family. Talk about politically on point. He doesn't stop being politically on point. That's the thing. That's why they're mad. That's the beginning and the end of why they're mad at Zack Snyder, and I'm never gonna say anything else.
I know we don't talk about this guy, but I like him. Like, I don't know, he's just got a look. I think he's kind of cool.
He's got a look. He's definitely good casting, which I think like actually Joss is very good at.
Well, actually, this was Zach, wasn't it?
Was this Zack's casting?
I think-
bet it was
yeah.
Zack's casting.
Yeah.
But a lot of this scene is fucked over by Joss.
And here's the biggest example of
This is-
Danny
this
Elfman
is
ruining
Zach.
the score.
We saw
is
this
definitely
early.
Zach.
On top of the scales of justice, 110%.
Oh, but
Zack
listen
here.
to Elfman's score, though.
It's so bad. Oh my god, why are we in a cartoon?
It's so weak.
Wonder Woman was really ruined, says Al. Thanks, Danny.
Okay, no, is that Jaws?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Look at the cool reflection on her eyes. I don't know.
Yeah. If
I don't
anything,
know.
quality
That's
is
a
happening,
detail.
it must be Zach.
Upskirt. Al says upskirt scene equals Joss.
But it's not sexual.
Literally, the camera going up Wonder Woman's skirt. Jesus goddamn Christ! It's so like there's millions of shots in here.
I'm gonna turn off my mic because my mom is calling me. So like, yeah, let me know if it's not actually turned off.
Okay.
And the safety of Holy
Oh.
Rebecca, we can still hear you.
That's pure. That's pure Zach. Sped up.
I'll be your.
I just want him to make an entire movie that's just all speed ramping, because fuck everybody. What do you do with DC characters?
Or something? Does she just want to snack?
This would have been over quickly, but
This bullshit is wild, to be honest. This didn't happen, sorry. This is totally Joss.
No, but they showed Zack on set with this though.
The music sucks. I hate it. I'm sorry.
The scene with stopping bullets, though, like, she's had super speed and super bullet stopping powers, like, at the same time.
Honestly, I honestly believe that scene was Zack's.
Yeah, the realism.
Oh,
the
this one
realism went out
pisses
the
me off
window.
so much.
Well, I mean, the realism
This
went out the
one
window when
pisses
they
me
have
off so much.
Cyborg
It's
and
like-
you know, like I feel like this movie already lost a little bit of that realism that was in BVS already, just based on the story itself alone.
Remember when this footage? Remember when we saw this footage?
Yeah.
And
Here's
my thing.
We saw this footage so early, and it was so fucking good.
Here's
And we
my
were like,
thing
oh
about
my
this
God.
whole. Okay, let me just say
Arctic
this.
Batman.
Okay, let me just say this real quick. This obviously already shows a huge continuity error because they showed him without a beard. Why is he gonna go? Because that's not an easy beard to grow. That took at least like a month or so. And I said this on Twitter like a long time ago, and that like I think in Zack's original vision, he quit being Batman to find the League. Like that was his mission now, was to honor Superman by creating this team and not being Batman.
Can you even imagine how angry that would have made the fans? And that's exactly why they pulled back on this shit. That's exactly why. Like the idea of Batman, you know, taking a huge vacation from Gotham because like that just makes sense. Like how do you what are we doing with time in this movie? Like he just teleported and then changed his entire look in order to get out here to Aquaman? Like what's happening? You're confused. This is some hella cute shit from Ben though. Holy shit.
Well, the Zack parts are anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't buy into the whole like drawings on the wall. Like, why would they do that when when Arthur's like literally right there? I feel like that's so weird. Like that wouldn't happen. Like that's Joss.
I mean, he is a fucking detective, guys. Like, you don't need to hand it to him. Like, he's gonna get there. Also, like, look at Arthur's eyes. He's not normal.
Also known as protector of the oceans, the Aquaman. I hear you can talk to fish.
Oh my god.
And then this scene,
No,
I like this scene too.
Sexiest, just the sexiest Batman. Holy shit. I always forget.
Yeah.
And then my loins. My loins.
Why not? Don't like you coming here digging into my business, getting into my life. You from the man that's telling me to do this, do that. I want to be left alone. That way you help these people out here in the middle of nowhere, because you can just leave. I help them because no one else does. You want to protect them, you need to work with me. Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that? That's not a saying.
Woo!
Opposite of what I'm saying.
The amount of screams in the theater when this scene happened.
You hear of Superman? He died fighting next to me. My point exactly.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Oh my god, the terrible green screen. Can you see it?
Nine's melting the polar ice caps, destroying the ecosystem. They got it coming. Hey, I don't mind the ocean, guys. How about if they boil? Dressed like a bat. Get out of your mind, Bruce Wayne.
See, what's Joss's obsession with these close-up facial shots? Like it's.
Yeah, it feels like reshoot. It's like the lighting is just off.
So this is, I think this
And then
is
he
that.
shaves, and then, oh my god, kill me, please. Kill me.
And then I think this all right here is Joss. Actually, I don't know.
This is definitely Joss.
Well, the first shot of him shaving, I think, was Zack, and then this, I don't know what all this is.
I think they must be containers of some kind. Or walls.
Because Ben's face looks pink throughout the rest of the movie.
Something we're starting a war.
Yeah, the reshoot.
I think you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird hearing him
Which
say
is
his...
so sad because, like, it's not even necessarily that Ben gained any weight or that Ben looks looks dramatically different. It's that Joss doesn't give a shit about lighting men in attractive ways. Like not on the level that Snyder does. Snyder has some sort of like magical homo-romantic sense about how to make these men look fucking amazing. And like it's
Zack
clearly
understands the gays.
The gay, yes. Zack loves and embraces the gays with his filmmaking.
Okay, I will say that. Let me just say real quick.
There's nothing queer about this lighting, and it's hurtful.
I will say here's another instance where I don't hate the Joss dialogue. It's not. I mean, it's fine. That's the thing. Like scenes like this are just fine. But it's when
it just feels like exposition.
That's the thing.
Like it's just exposition. It's nothing. It doesn't contribute to the story much.
Yeah.
Simple life.
Yeah, I feel like
It's fine,
a
but
very big part
do
of
you see how-
what Joss did was just exposition. Just like readjusting the plot to make it shorter, and so replacing a lot of stuff with exposition.
Here's
Am I
another
the
ways.
only one who feels like Ben looks really supremely uncomfortable doing these lines?
Here's another wasted reshoot where they totally like this is such a waste of a reshoot, especially for Mark McClure, who actually had a decent amount of screen time with Zack, and all he's like left with is like some random prison guard before he was actually working with Lois. Ugh. Jimmy Olsen deserved better.
On what we'll never know.
So is Joss implying that he's working for Ben or he's working for Bruce now?
I mean, we didn't even really need that.
So Snyder. Dude, that slow-mo shot is so Snyder.
Okay, I don't even want to talk about this yet.
This is the thing that Joss gets credit for all of the funny stuff in this film, but like I think the majority of the legitimately funny stuff, especially with Barry, is actually Zack's stuff. Like I just think that he's got a better sense of humor than Joss does because Joss is all like fart and dick jokes.
Yeah, it's genuine humor rather than just crass jokes.
And snark. There's not an abundance of snark.
And see, it's funny because like you'll have like scenes like this where Joss was. I think Joss was afraid to touch these because he couldn't do better, or in his head he couldn't do better. This is amazing right here. Billy.
I mean, look at this. Look at this performance we got out of Ezra. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Honestly, even Billy
punches
Crudup.
This scene in the dick.
Even for the 2 scenes he's in, Billy Crudup kicked fucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. Let's go out. I want you to make
But Ezra's also like holding his own with this guy, and this this is the amazing thing is he puts these like younger actors in with these like veteran older actors, and actually like helps them actually hold their own in these scenes, and that's gorgeous. That's a skill. That's a directing skill.
Mm-hmm. Like it's like in Man of Steel when you have Dale Sprayberry who's like 12 years old against Kevin Costner, and somehow it's Clark who stands out in the scene.
Yeah, that's wild, right? I mean, the same thing with like Henry and Amy are not really in the same league at any level, but like getting Henry to look like he doesn't not to look clown shoes in the room with Amy Adams is an achievement. Like he can hold his own pretty well, but I mean like at a certain level you have to be like, well, it's fucking Amy Adams. Like she's better than everyone.
Yeah.
Victor, you're not stuck up here. You can have a life. You can have one.
Now this, I can't tell if this is Joss or Zack or not, but no matter
No,
what...
it's Zack. It's the
This
when
shit
you
is worth the
feel
whole movie.
Breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you feel the movie take a second to breathe, you know that it's Zack. Like those lingering camera shots. Zack, like look at that. Just for a second, like the camera's just following his movement. Mm-hmm. Rather than just cutting back and forth, like that is just pure Zack.
This scene has been truncated though, like but I think it was intended to be longer.
Definitely.
Does anybody know I'm alive? I didn't think you were ready for them. For what? For them to see the monster. are not a monster. It's weird that you thought it meant me.
So good.
I did.
The light thing is fantastic.
Even the first time through, I shit my pants in the theater. I cannot believe that Ray Fisher is this powerful. Oh my god.
And that's why, like, one of the writers for Comic Book Debate just went and saw him at the Celebrity Fan Fest in Texas, and I'm so jealous because he, to this day, he's still so grateful for Zack, and just we don't deserve him, honestly.
No, he deserves way better. He deserves
the whole
his
fucking
own
world.
fucking leg in this franchise, and he's never gonna get it.
Couldn't do that last night. Ever since we got visitors from Cape Cod, people have been waiting for the next day of the invasion.
And one of my biggest gripes with the fucking fandom is that like so many people like want to shout like, oh, DC doesn't have a Black Panther, DC needs more representation, blah blah blah. And everyone's like, oh, well, Cyborg should have his own movie. No, well, I only want to care about Cyborg if he's in Teen Titans. Like, well, fuck you, fuck you.
Well, they don't want a disabled black man, and they don't want a queer black man. They want an actual. They want a black man that they can direct. They can. What's happening? They want a black man that they can relate to. So it's got to be a cis, straight, black guy, and then they got him, and it's fine. But
see, like up until this, even up until this point in the movie, like other than the Superman scene, I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. Like, obviously, Josh shit is like very obvious, but
literally after that first Superman scene, I was like, oh, is that it? Oh, okay, we're fine. We're fine.
No, like,
that looks terrible, and it's over.
No, like, this is an instance where I see Joss's aesthetic really clearly, and I'm like, if the whole movie were this, it would be fine. You know what I mean? If this whole movie was consistently
is that none of this is Joss.
Yeah, exactly. No, but like the way he grades and edits it, you can tell. Like that he's tampered with it,
Yet nothing has happened. It has slept for thousands of years since the first age. Why did it wake at all?
Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy that Zack brought in like every single fucking Amazon from Wonder Woman, like, and they aren't just like random background actresses either. And honestly, I don't care about the things that people said about, like, oh, they're just all in bikinis and stuff. Like, when literally almost every single actress was like, I felt so much more comfortable wearing those than some of the stuff they wore in actually wore in Wonder Woman.
They took feedback from the folks who had worked on this stuff, though, who had worn the Amazon armor before. That's the thing. And that's the thing we didn't know when that conversation started that should have made the whole conversation change, but instead, feminist internet.
My god.
You will not like your welcome.
It's so Thanos-y, I hate it. Oh.
Can you imagine if we actually had like a physically like terrifying Steppenwolf like Zack originally planned?
Can you imagine if Steppenwolf were actually morally complex like he was supposed to?
I think they all still look so badass, and like Zack, and like no, I think other than Patty, Zack's the only person I trust directing the Amazons.
Keep it moving. Yeah.
See, more scenes where I think, like, Joss probably didn't even know what to do in terms of, like, the story and the visuals. Like, because so much was laid out for him that honestly probably made him shed his pants. He's like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do with this, so I'm just gonna leave it.
My honest assessment is that he was just like, he just looked at the outline and he was like, okay, too ambitious, reduce it.
There, Samantha Joe. Weird line.
No, okay, I think like almost all of Steppenwolf's dialogue was changed to like give him a simpler motivation. Cause like originally, like Steppenwolf in the comics is pretty complex, and like the cast interviews, the interviews from Zack and stuff were talking about how Steppenwolf's psychology was supposed to be a lot more complicated, and then when in the actual movie it's just really basic stock like Joss Whedon villain, you know.
Wait, so here's my quick question. So, like, did Samantha Joe just die? I can't tell.
Fire has no 5,000 years. Men won't know what it means. Men won't. She will.
See, aren't those basically the huge capes that, like, Zack had Gal test in for the costume for Wonder Woman? Or for BVS, I mean?
No, can you imagine, like, this shot, but with, like, a proper soundtrack? You know how badass it would have felt? Like, it would have been so much better.
That's such a weird cut. I feel like there's something more that was supposed to be there, but obviously Joss WB cut it.
No, I think that was supposed to be a much more obvious, like, intuitive link to the bank scene.
Yeah.
So that the joke plays better, but this doesn't. But, like, the cutting of this just makes it awkward.
Yeah. Well, he's got this, like, ensemble movie rule where you cut back and forth.
No, okay.
Oh, God.
No.
Can we not? Is there any way we could not? I'm not ready. Fuck.
Oh, God.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Why? This was the point I knew. I'm like, no.
Oh, God, the wig.
Oh, no!
Why would he even do that to Amy? Why?
Fucking Amy Adams, and you do this to her.
And Diane Lane too. Fuck Joss. Seriously, fucking Joss Whedon.
These women are so uncomfortable. Like
They're
one's
so,
happy
like, they
here.
look so tired and so dead inside.
They're also being lit like idiots. Like, what the fuck's happening?
Oh,
Everyone was
this fucking
beautiful
asshole. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Do you remember how beautiful Diane Lane was in BVS? Even when she was like crying and all fucked up. Still amazing
Even in
lighting.
this movie, when it's Zack's scenes that he directed of her, she looks so much better than her.
Look how he's trying to make Amy look plastic. This is his action figure aesthetic. This is the kind of lighting he does. Extremely harsh lighting that only works for 20-year-old children. And that's it.
And it's like all bright, saturated colors, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny because he's literally making them look like Barbie dolls. Like, with the bright colors,
it's so stupid.
with the bright blues and the bright red wig.
Guys, the content of this scene, like Amy, like Lois is saying, oh, I'm not ready to write anything more than puff pieces. Like, she literally wrote Superman's funeral article. For
real.
Literally
also, why did we have to turn up the blue in her eyes to 1,000 so that it matches her fucking shirt? She looks crazy. Like, whose eyes are those? Not Amy Adams. Who the fuck put those eyes in there? Like, did they put
Oh god,
What
the
did he
thirsty
do?
joke. No.
Oh, no!
The thirsty
No!
joke. No.
Oh god.
No!
Look at the terrible, do you see that terrible gesture she does when she just like wants to die in the middle of this scene? With her hand on her chin awkwardly, like she's like, what do you do in this situation that would never fucking happen?
Honestly, like thinking about how genuine, like how Zack's Lois would have reacted to all of this, where she would be in this movie makes me so fucking sad. Like literally, like thinking about all the loss she had to endure and just how strong she had to be, and just
She's relegated to this shitty scene, and she's literally only in this shitty scene so that Joss can achieve a textbook Bechdel test passed. And that's literally why he did it. He was literally counting down the seconds before he could jettison both of these women because he doesn't actually give a shit. And it doesn't even count because they were talking about Clark the whole fucking time.
And I like how so like in this scene, it's so easy for Vic to be like, well, Bruce Wayne's Batman. That was quick. and you know what's funny? Like they literally use.
No, but that's the thing.
Oh, this shot
is
here,
so powerful.
Can I say that shot of the lake with the bat, like with the bat symbol, like imagery, was so fucking awesome from Zack.
That one. Pretty sure that's what made the alien go crazy. I'll see about bringing something to the suit. Won't be quick. Anything to give me an edge.
Rebecca says, "I don't even understand why Martha would come all the way to the Metropolis. Makes more sense to have Lois go to her. Well, Lois can't go to her because we sold the fucking farm. I mean, by all rights, this shouldn't be like a coffee meeting. This should be Martha bedding down on Lois's couch because she has nowhere to go. But instead, we have her being like, well, I don't need any help from you." What? She's basically your daughter-in-law. What the fuck's happening? I don't know why she's visiting the office either.
He lived only to conquer. Millions fell before his blade.
I still love this whole flashback sequence too.
Nightmare creatures who feed on fear.
Oh no, reshot! This scene! Oh no!
They're in Gotham?
They're all over.
I feel like a version of this scene
He's
Zack
literally just using this extra footage to build on his ship, and it's gross. Honestly, I'm starting to hate Wonder Bad as much as I hate Super Wonder, and that's pretty bad. Just because only creeps seem to like this shit.
Because Wonder Woman has to be with one of the Trinity. That's literally it. That's these people are asking.
The mother boxes combine to form.
You can't have a woman in a team without her dating one of them, okay? Full stop. That's a rule, guys.
It is apparently a fucking rule.
No exceptions.
Yes, Rebecca, I know you ship Wonder Bat. I'm very sorry. I wish that things were different, but there are so many creeps that ship it. So many icky fucking ugh. Josh ships
can I just say, like, as a DC fan, I was still very like pleased with the scene, like seeing like the Green Lantern here, seeing like the Wonder Woman's, like all of that stuff. Like I feel like made moments like this at least more worth it to me to be able to be like, okay, well, there's still something in this movie that I can enjoy.
His history lessons are so beautiful. His history lessons are everything. Honestly, I just want a collection of those.
Can I just say, though, the fact that David Thewlis got credited as Ares in this movie, I don't know if it was like the reshoots or whatever, they made no effort to actually make the actor who portrayed Ares physically to look anything like David Thewlis at all. Like, watch when they do like the far away shots showing the guys in the background in a second. It looks nothing like him.
It's super weird. I don't know why they would put Thewlis in the credits at all.
See, look, he's taking off the helmet. That was not Thewlis at all. They didn't superimpose his face or anything. I'm like, why do you even credit him? He wasn't even in the movie. If you're gonna credit him, at least have his fucking face. Now, one thing I want to know, and I don't know if they're gonna bring it up in Aquaman, is that what portion of Atlantis was the mother box held in, to where like Arthur didn't really know, or like didn't. Because it seems like his first time seeing Atlantis
this
is...
one scene where they're burying the mother box, and basically it's an advertisement for Zack to do Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Pretty much. 10 out of 10.
And the Amazons to an island they can never leave.
Oh, I wouldn't count.
What are we doing with the mother boxes? Is there continuity here, or is it over?
What do you mean?
Like after Justice League? Or,
Well, remember,
like,
weren't they all destroyed?
Were they?
I think.
I don't remember this movie. I just remember being offended and sad.
Barry Allen.
Rebecca says Joss keeps making characters meet up in weird places they would never meet. This is a really weird place. Like, why are they walking in
Why are they walking that far?
Bruce's weird stretch of land? I'm assuming around his condo.
And then, like, Victor is, like, really weirdly in that same area watching from the shadows.
I like it. I'm into the creepiness. He's like, hey, hi, I can see you. Fuck you.
Oh god, another horrible scene. No, don't put the black pig in the background. Don't do this. They didn't even sync the song with the music video. I'm sorry, it annoys me.
First line. You said that like it explains why there's a total stranger.
My place, sitting in the dark, in my second favorite chair. Tell me about this. This is a person who looks exactly like me, but who is definitely not me. Very attractive Jewish boy. Somebody who, I don't know,
Clear Bailey
stole
Allen
your lunch or railroads.
I can't believe Barry just immediately ragged on Bruce's outfit. He was like, hi, nice to meet you. Your outfit is ridiculous.
I don't care what anyone says. I still really like this version of the Flash's suit.
Space shuttle to prevent it.
No, they're beautiful together, honestly. Like, this is a great marriage of these two characters. Like, they did a great job making Bruce matter to Barry and Barry matter to Bruce. I'm into it. And this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on film. I actually have, like, a sticker sitting by my bedside of this moment because it's, like, the one salvageable, like, image. It's beautiful. That's all Zack.
So beautiful.
Every single time that they do any kind of Speed Force, it's Zack. We know it's Zack because Joss can't design any shit like that.
That feels like an oversimplification. I'm putting together a team. People with special abilities. You see, I believe enemies are coming. Stop right there. I'm in. You are? Yeah. I need friends.
End it here. No!
Oh no, the lighting change!
No.
The hair, the lighting.
The lighting! Oh my god.
What is lunch? You wait in line for an hour.
Did they just loop?
Lunch?
Why did we do this? Why did we do this?
You can see the green screen
Also,
on him.
what if he just
You can
said
see the
that?
fucking green screen.
What if he just said that though? What if that scene had ended with him just saying like regular people are a little slow? It would have been cute. It would have been perfect.
I'm a snack hole. How many people are on this special fight team? 3, including you. 3? Against what? I'll tell you on the plane. Plane? What are your superpowers again? I'm rich.
Joss also doesn't know how to transition a scene, and that becomes very apparent with these awkward transitions when Zack would have just like snap cut. He would just been like, well, this isn't important. Fuck that shit. Bye.
And see,
We don't care how they get
more
the car.
more continuity errors. What is this? That's not what Victor looked like in BVS at all. He didn't get cybernetic enhancements. That's not how.
Also, like, look at like how much of his body is left. I'm so fucking confused. He doesn't. That's not his body. His body was gone. That was the whole point.
It was literally his torso and his head. That's it.
Was he like? He was like, oh, clearly what happened was that his dad, like, what, cut off his arms and legs for fun? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Now this, whether it's a Zack or Josh scene, I don't mind this moment right here between, like...
We needed honestly more of this because, like, Cyborg is ridiculously powerful in the information age.
Honestly, he's basically
he's
a god
kind of
in the information age.
He's kind of a fun, silly character when he was first introduced, and now it just seems like he's the most overpowered character in the universe.
I know, and people want to call Superman overpowered. In today's day and age, Cyborg would be, honestly, he's like probably the most overpowered person on the planet.
Cyborg doesn't have to leave his house to save the world. He doesn't have to do shit. He doesn't even have to be there. He could be anywhere he wants to be all the time. It's fucked up.
I'm sorry, if all the lights went off in the neighborhood, I feel like people would come out.
Again, I still think Zack did this though.
Yeah, true though.
Yeah, this is an emotional enough conversation that I would buy it, Zack. Also, like, I don't believe that Joss added any footage with Cyborg. I think he was probably annoyed by how much footage there already was of Cyborg because he doesn't value Cyborg at all.
And that's why, honestly, like, because they mentioned the whole lake scene here, I think Zack shot a similar-ish lake scene, but Josh just added onto it and made it even longer and like more pointless for exposition.
Only felt the same for a long time. I lost someone I loved once.
See, I bet Josh watched the Zack footage and was like, okay, since Zack had her mention Steve, all we're gonna do is have her mention Steve.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, this is really interesting because it's her inching out of BVS's sort of funk into something that she could potentially become. Like, she's not Wonder Woman at the beginning of this film, and it's kind of wild that we, like, just decided that she suddenly becomes Wonder Woman because Superman died. Like, that's wild.
Honestly, can I just say, like, not very many people say this. I kind
of appreciate any of this because of Elfman's fucking music.
Like, what even is the score of this fucking movie? Like, there isn't, like...
The laziest shit I've ever heard.
I mean, we literally hear the Avenger score in this, so I mean, that's already to tell us that what we're in for.
I feel like every single moment is like, boop, 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 hero!
I'll admit, there are some scenes coming up later in the movie where the score, I think, kind of works. I'm not going to say which ones yet, because I'll wait until they show up, but yeah.
This is Zack. This music choice is Zack. 10 out of 10.
And I think, and then Joss did this.
Pointed out, and I'm giving them points for this, that there definitely is a shot of Aquaman littering here, and it's pretty sacrilegious, but I think it's kind of the point.
Because you feel like he cares about the ocean, but he also kind of doesn't.
He's not like an eco-warrior at this point, or anything. He kind of cares about the ocean.
But he also kind of doesn't?
Yeah.
I don't care if the reshoots are coming. Mira looks so fucking good here.
Oh my god. My gay boner was so big. Jesus, I cannot handle it.
Honestly, I don't care about the whole boob window thing people complain about. I think her design here is fucking fantastic.
No, it looks like a really good reflection of her comic outfit.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
Honestly, I kind of miss it. I like her new look, don't get me wrong, but like this just feels like powerful. Like just...
Yeah.
Yeah, like why wouldn't she be wearing armor? Why is she wearing a leotard? I don't really understand. I hope it will come to understand why she's not wearing armor, but the armor
this is so
was a natural choice.
Like, this entire scene is so truncated, you know, like it just feels very rushed.
I feel like Zack was actually attempting to build up to the scene, especially because like he shot so much more with Mira, but for here it's just like it's just like you see Arthur save some people, and then he's like, oh well, gotta go to Atlantis now. But it is nice that, like, when Zack was filming this, James was like, hey, please don't show Atlantis. I want that to be a reveal in my movie. And Zack was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then he only has this one scene. That, as far as we know.
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason why we're probably missing, like surface scenes with him and Mara, because it's the only thing that makes sense, is that she was out on the surface with him a bunch because Atlantis was off limits.
This air bubble thing makes no sense, but whatever.
I'm sorry, she looks so hot in it. I don't know what to tell you. She's so mad right now.
At last, firstborn of beloved Queen Atlantis.
Oh my god, kill me, please. Oh, take me out.
Danielle.
She looks so amazing. I'm gonna cry.
Not even Josh's fucking male gaze shit can ruin her.
She took me in.
Oh my god, girl. What the fuck's happening?
Your mother left you to
Stomp on my face.
But you're not a defenseless child now. It would have been her responsibility to follow
that one.
He is looking down her armor, and it's really rude. She's talking to you. Look at her face.
I mean, at the same time, at this point, I don't think that's necessarily out of character for Arthur.
Oh no, I'm just saying, don't do it, Arthur. Please stop.
Oh god, here we go with the fucking Russian shit. Artyom, where are you so we can actually get some Russian validity about this fucking shit?
To quote Zack's fucking tweet, what Russian family?
Okay, here's my question. Here's my question. If this entire fucking, like, whatever it is, a city or whatever, is abandoned, why is this one fucking family here?
Literally, what is their purpose? Do they have neighbors? What's happening? What do they eat?
Bug spray, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, I'll admit that is a terrifying shot. Like that wasn't a bad shot. But this whole fucking family, it's just like, why? Why are you taking away? Literally, there's so much screen time taken away by this fucking family.
I just feel like Joss feels like we don't actually like care about the world or the people in it. So like he needs to give us some sort of like connection.
But here's the thing, like, here's the thing.
And also, like, they don't need anyone to save. They're saving the fucking world.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the difference that I noticed between the way Zack and Joss approach, like, the idea of other people in the world. Is that Joss responds by zooming in on, like, a particular, open inverted commas quote, normal family, you know? So instead of having, like, a bunch of random strangers in the background, you have one family who are supposed to represent the normal family. Whereas what Zack will do is give you like 20 different examples of random strangers that you'll encounter in maybe one sentence interactions. You know, and it's a better reflection of like the idea of there being more than you in the world rather than zooming in on like one particular family.
Yeah.
Well, it's like in Man of Steel when they have those crowds of people reacting to things and those crowds of people.
Yeah,
like
that's why honestly,
and how I notice that all of the faces are like 80% more diverse than the entire New York scene in the Avengers, and I think that just speaks for itself. Like who he's trying to make relate to these movies and who he doesn't actually give a shit about.
And it's like giving a second to linger on them as well, you know, linger on their faces, linger on their expressions.
Okay, can we finally...
And trusting the actors to give us that.
I was thinking, can I just say, we've been so starved of Batman content, we keep forgetting that we have this in the movie, but the movie is so shitty as a whole because of Joss. We forget that we have moments like this with fucking James Gordon in the universe. But we all forget because of this fucking movie.
Yeah, so much good stuff is forgotten because of how bad this movie is overall. Oh no, I wish we'd had the more or less scene. I want to know what context that was in.
Oh, I know.
I mean, that's the kind of awkward shit that I thought that we were gonna get, like loads of Diana and Bruce, and I feel like if that
it's like top banter, you know, like in
That's
character
the kind
and
of stuff. Yeah, that they.
it's like the kind of humor that comes out of like natural character chemistry rather than like forced humor, like characters making quips and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, if you wanted me to ship it, that's the way you should have done it.
The reshoot. I know, like Arthur made that just said comparing this to like the trailer version of it, and like this
this
trailer
fucking
was so
score.
much better,
Why would he use this fucking old ass score? Fucking hate Danny Elfman so much. Doesn't even fit. Fucking asshole. I hate him.
Don't forget I did a Batman movie.
And apparently that's the only score in his mind. Like, fuck anyone else who's done one.
Oh my god, we can't even.
Honestly,
get in
if
there.
I ever see him in person, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Danny, why are you such a fucking asshole?" Honestly, at Comic-Con this year, I was so tempted to go to the Joss Whedon fucking Dr. Horrible panel just to be like, "Oh, hey, Joss, why the fuck did you ruin Justice League and the vision of someone who lost his daughter?" I wanted so bad to do that, and it's funny. And then he was waiting. A group was waiting for him to do the signing and stuff afterwards, like, in the exhibit hall, and I wanted so bad to yell "fuck you, Joss" when he showed up, but I'm like, you know what? No, I can't. I wish I did though.
I bet they were screening questions and the whole thing. Like, they weren't prepared for the reaction to Justice League on any measure, but they got around to it. They started like sequestering everybody and being like, well.
I love this scene.
I think so much of the Barry content is so fucking good.
I think J.K. Simmons deserves, like, I really hope we see a Ben Batman movie, because I think J.K. Simmons and him could be so much. They could be a really good Gordon and Bruce together. Like, I really. Just makes me so sad.
Yeah. Upskirt shot. No reason for ass cheeks there. Just letting you know.
Woo! Cyborg's butt though.
I don't know. Was that I don't know.
I mean, I don't see any reason for ass cheeks there, no matter who shot it. Like, fuck whoever shot it. Because why were there entire ass cheeks? What the hell?
Honestly, I think, and I think Joe Morton even said this, I think, or someone said it, I think Silas was supposed to be killed here.
Yeah, I don't know if Zack was actually going to do this thing where he was going to, permanently kill Silas and temporarily kill Cyborg, but I think it would have been a bad choice. I don't know. I don't know how that would have gone down.
It's really cool, you guys.
I don't know. I mean, it is really hard to know whether or not the people who apparently saw Zack's cut at some point, how much is true and how much isn't, or if these people are just saying that they saw it just for the clout of saying, "Oh, I saw it." Like,
yeah, and the thing is that the cut that they saw was so tampered with in the first place too. Like, we'll really never know like what it was supposed to look like, because we know they were hassling him from day one, so we don't really know what the intention was in the first place. Yeah. And that's the frustrating thing.
And honestly, and this was my question after watching BVS, and I don't know if this was necessarily Zack's fault or whoever's fault this was. I thought like the mother box became Cyborg.
Yes. I mean, I think conclusively.
You were born of her. A creature of chaos. Not how I see it. Give it time.
Honestly,
I wanted that line.
You know what's funny? Like, when they show certain close-up shots of Steppenwolf, oddly enough, he almost kind of looks like Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's terrible. I'm telling the actor you said that.
You know what's funny? I remember like a bunch of critics saying there's like after they saw the movie, we're like, oh, there's one like definitive Batman scene in this movie. Where? Are you talking about this? Like
the rooftop garbage, maybe? I don't know.
You overestimate yourself.
My axe is still thick with the blood of your sisters.
This was a cool fight, I'm not gonna lie. But the sucky thing is that like Josh just doesn't know how to build up to these scenes that Zack did. He has no real segue. He has no real like way of being like, okay, well here's how we introduce the scene. He's like, no, here's the scene. End. Here's another scene. End. Here's another scene. Like he doesn't know how to direct a good movie. I don't think he really does.
He knows how to direct a movie that's very bouncy, that goes from scene to scene really fast, and that is focused on the characters and doesn't actually have any events. Like, real events don't really happen in his films, which is fine, but, like, it's not a good fit for these giant superhero movies, and, like, it's become really obvious watching him make them.
Honestly, do you remember, like, the VFX reel that came out, I would say, like, a few months ago, and they showed so much more of this whole scene, and it's just, like, like, they literally added Russian family and took away... You could have even had, like, just, like, a few little seconds to extend some of these scenes to make them matter at least a little more, but Warner Brothers was so dead set on that 2-hour runtime, and it was so... so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I hate that line. And you know what's funny? In other commentaries, I've had issues with copyright because, like, you have to talk...
How would he be quipping to no one?
It's funny because, like for all these commentaries, like a lot of the copyright stuff is, like, you have to talk, like, a certain amount over the movie in order for you not to get dinged for copyright. And we've struggled with that for every movie about having certain scenes that we're too silent on because it's Zack and it's Patty that requires some amount of silence. But with this movie, it's so easy to talk about the entire fucking thing because everything pisses me off.
Yeah, my one concern about this commentary was that you wouldn't be able to actually know which part of the movie you're talking about because, like, everybody has so much to complain about in this movie. Like, this could have been, like, a cool culmination to this could have been a cool culmination to a very long fight that was interesting and showed us how powerful our heroes are. But instead, they were like, "Oh, isn't it sucky when she's in?"
Oh no! Here we go. Gal didn't even know what she was reacting to.
Is it just me, or is her shit, like, green in that scene?
Her what?
Why was her armor green? That's some weird shit. They fucked with the color.
Again, and again, here's another scene. Why would he reshoot it when it's literally the exact same lines?
But I'll take it from here. Do I know you?
Honestly, and it's so funny because, like, you know, I was a film student for a couple years, so, like, watching some of the reshoot scenes, I'm like, how could anyone give this a pass and say that it's okay? It's so obviously a reshoot. It so obviously doesn't fit in with the scene that was already established. It looks so ugly. How could anyone say yes to this and say, yep, this is the one we want. This is the one we spent $300 million on. Yep, this is good. This is fine. Like, what is... Like, these people are literally so fucking stupid to think that some of these shots are okay. Like, you're seriously okay with spending that much money on a mediocre looking movie? Like,
this is the thing. so disrespectful to us, and it's clearly that they have no respect for their viewing audience. They have no respect for the kind of person who's going to see these films. That's exactly what it is. They're like, oh, well, you guys like garbage anyway, so here's some garbage. Like, they must know that this film is hideous. They must know that it's the most terrible film that's been made in the genre in a very long time. Like, they must have known that, putting it in the box. And they put it in the box anyway, because they were like, superhero fans don't have any taste. That's the thing that I'm seeing here. That's the message I receive. What's crazy here is that we go from this idea that, like, Batman's like, oh, we didn't immediately beat Steppenwolf, back to the drawing board, let's go get Superman. And it's like, what's wrong with you exactly? Like
Batman, like, logistically wouldn't have gone that far yet.
Like, what, we couldn't do 2 battles with Steppenwolf for real?
Just like Batman. I dig it.
Maybe temporary. So, made you change your mind. Steppenwolf. Take the mother box from Atlantis.
All he needs now is the lost box of men.
If he doesn't already have it. He doesn't have it.
That's so. That's such a cool shot of Cyborg. You see, why the fuck? Why would you live in here? Why would you live in the middle of nowhere by yourselves?
It looks like a really great place to be, like, the only victims of a giant nuclear meltdown. That's what it looks like to me.
Like, if I feel like the dad was like, "This is where I want to go to have my family killed." Like, that's literally what it feels like. Why else would you move there?
This isn't cute. This is, like, sad and feeble. Like, it just hurts my feelings a little bit. I'm like, wow, that sucks.
I really wish we would have seen the shot of, like, them actually entering the cave with Zack's vision.
With Barry talking the whole elevator ride down, because that's the right thing to do.
See, again, continuity error, because it lit up when you were fucking created.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and then like Bruce's change of outfit too, right? Like he wasn't wearing this in like the set pictures.
Well, none of this were in the set pictures because they all did this last minute and didn't like.
This is a really great example of how Zack is really good at blocking, and Joss is fucking terrible at it. Because like, look at all the people. Look at the people in this shot, and what are they doing and why? Nobody really understands what they're doing or why. Like
Arthur just stole a random piece of something? What?
Yeah. Like they were,
and honestly,
basically, Joss is doing this theater thing where he's like, everybody always has to be moving and doing something, and it's just a weak writing technique.
The mother box was designed to reshape the planet.
Honestly, I feel like I might get a little bit of flack for this, but I feel like they could have gotten a better jacket for Jason to wear because I don't think it flatters him very well.
Back to life.
I mean, they could have redone Jason's whole wardrobe to be hot and sexy, but I feel like that's for.
Well, remember Zack had him wearing like a tank top in the original scene.
That's true. That's true. I mean, less clothing for Jason Momoa, I always support.
Here's one thing though, like, him writing Wonder Woman in this particular moment isn't out of character for her necessarily. Some of these lines.
She's being a rat. This is the thing though, is that the framing of this entire scene, like of the narrative around her, makes her like wrong or something, which is fucking stupid because like she's the only right person in the room. She's like, what if you let this human being or like, you know, this actual person rest in peace?
Like, when I first saw the scene, in the cinema, all I could think was that every line of Bruce's dialogue sounds like Tony Stark, like Avengers Tony Stark.
Yes.
The way.
And it's so funny because like walking out of the movie, I feel like
it's so like the first Avengers, like Tony and Steve. This entire dynamic between
Bruce
and
Wayne
Diana.
doesn't need to be reminded that Wonder Woman could kill him with her finger. Like, this is the thing, is that, like, Bruce never overestimates his power in the room with these Titans. He's fucking terrified all the time that one of them is gonna go rogue and ruin the fucking planet.
Yeah, like that's the whole point of like the dynamic between Batman and the Justice League. Like,
he would
he's the
never
leader
push
of the
Diana
Justice
that
League.
way. He would never push Diana that way, and he would never be like, "Oh, she hit me." He would be like, "Naturally, she hit me. Of course, she hit me. That's her job."
Like the whole dynamic between Bruce and the Justice League is that he's the leader because he's the one who's always aware of how much more powerful they are than him. You know.
I mean, ideally, he's not the leader. Ideally, he's not all that involved at all. But
No,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
but in like the comics, like Bruce is always like in like an administrative leadership role, right, for the Justice League, because he's the one who's always aware of what everyone is capable of.
I mean, I would say he comes up with plans for sure, but I feel like he's more like the Justice League's secretary than anything else. I mean, like, I don't think that he necessarily thinks he's as important as he thinks he is. I think that everyone in the Justice League knows how important it is that Bruce Wayne feels important, but I don't think that has anything to do.
But that's the dynamic, you know. That's always been the dynamic between him and the League.
oh god, this. Whenever I think of this room, I'm just like, oh god, fucking Joss. What is this room?
Oh god.
It's like Zack wrote down what he wanted Bruce to understand by the end of the movie, and then Whedon said, okay, well, the best way to accomplish that is to have him say all the things out loud. And it's like, yikes.
Exposition. Woo. Oh, shut up.
He's more human than a lot of people are, Bruce. That's nothing to do. It's not a self-judgment. That's just...
And honestly, here's
Clark.
I know we've talked about this before, but like the fact that Joss Whedon made Bruce Wayne such a fucking asshole in a movie where he's supposed to be so humbled by the fact that Superman even existed and the fact that Superman sacrificed himself for him in the world, like he wouldn't be acting like this. He wouldn't. Like,
No,
why?
like,
This is
just
the thing, is that he goes from self-righteous in one direction to self-righteous in another fucking direction. And this is exactly what Joss would have done. Like, as personally, this is what Joss would have done. And this is why he writes Batman this way, because he literally cannot get out of his own misogynist perspective, where he's like, well, I mean, if I'm wrong in one direction, then I'm just going to run off and be wrong in the other direction, because I'm just that way.
That's the whole thing with... That's literally the whole thing with him and feminism, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, I feel like... I know it's the middle of the night, and it's... Obviously, this scene is already problematic as it is with the fucking racial tension, whatever thing coming up.
Oh my god, this scene is garbage, and I hate it.
Okay, can I just say, like... Obviously, Man of Steel and BVS kind of established that, like... It's kind of like a known secret in Smallville that Clark is Superman. And no one's noticed these two people digging up the grave at all. Like, there isn't someone hanging around. Like, I feel like
we just send out the two youngest members of the Justice League to fucking dig up a corpse of a national fucking hero, without notifying any of his next of kin or having anybody have any say in that. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, even if this was a decision that was made on Zack's watch, I very much disagree with it. Like, as someone who has a dead relative, if you went and dug them up without me remotely knowing about it and then tried to fucking resurrect them, I would kill you with a fucking knife. I would stab you so many times. Like, they're lucky that Lois Lane didn't turn around and shoot them all dead, quite honestly, because this is disrespectful beyond the pale. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Wait a minute. On the screen, wait, hold on.
Ridiculously powerful.
Wait,
ridiculously.
Wait, did his fake military name say Ron Weasley?
God, I don't know.
I could be. That little bit of Hans just makes all the difference. God, it would have been so amazing if Zack had fucking had his vision finished. Because to go back to the scout ship in every single movie, I think is so important. And like, because obviously it's so much more than the Fortress of Solitude at this point. It's like, it's literally like part of the Superman monument. It's so much more. Like, it's a reminder of the damage done to the city. It's a reminder of Superman. It's a reminder of his sacrifice. It's a reminder of so many things. And Zack made that such an important thing in each movie when he shows it. But here, it's just. I'm never gonna get fucking over this movie.
I don't understand how they came to this conclusion. I don't understand why Clark couldn't just get up on his own. I don't understand why this is happening. I'm so upset in general, and I don't get it. I know that I was ramping up to be really pissed about this in the long run, and there was no way I was going to be happy. But
I might be able to do it.
he's got resurrecting powers. You didn't successfully kill Superman. I'm sorry, you don't get to. You don't get to successfully kill Superman. It's not a thing. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Like that's the thing that sucks.
Here's the thing. I can understand the choice because if you gave him resurrecting powers, then it just kind of it just like
you have to charge it the moment
makes Superman a lower stakes character, you know.
Diana's right. This is a bad idea.
I mean, it's not like we haven't. It's not like we've not found. Like it's that we haven't found a way to kill Superman. It's not necessarily that he's like literally immortal. I mean, like every single continuity has him aging after a certain point. I mean, like it's not an immortality thing. It's the fact that like he didn't die in this story. Doomsday doesn't successfully kill Superman.
That's why the Dirt Rising in BVS is there to remind us that he's not like.
It's fine. I mean, he was always going to do this to me, and I was always going to be hurt feelings. Like this is between me and Zack for sure. Like this was definitely Zack's plan, but I'm betting Zack's plan was better than this because this is like nonsense. Doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Honestly,
no, but like by having an irreplaceable mechanism through which to resurrect Superman, it just prevents the. It gives Superman an actual sense of mortality, you know. Because if he's just an invincible character, then there's just no point ever including him in anything because it's just like, oh, you know, Superman can't be killed, so there's no point putting him in any danger, like from a character standpoint.
This is the thing, though, is that I don't think the point is putting Superman in mortal danger. I think the whole point of the comics is about the ways that Clark can be hurt that don't have anything to do with dying or not dying. And I think that's what actually matters about his comics. And I think it's really bizarre that everyone wants to be like, well, how can we kill Superman? Because, like, I just don't think it's, like, I don't think it's relevant. Like, I think it's fine that...
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. It's just really frustrating because, like, the resurrection of Superman is one of the most beautiful things in comics, and, like, Jurgens did it so beautifully and so perfect, and I don't know. I mean, I think Snyder did his death better, but I don't think Snyder was going to do his resurrection better. I think
it's
there was no way that he was going to improve.
Honestly, I think it's so hard to say what Zack would have done because we have, like, no real context as to what he was going to do. Like, even in here, like, it's so butchered because Joss sets it up so terribly that it's just like you can't even begin to imagine what Zack was gonna do. Like,
because he's not all right.
Like you get the after effect of like, okay, well this is what it looks like when he's back, not the lead up to it. So it's hard to say what Zack really would have done either way.
What are you doing? Victor! My armor's defense system. No. It's stronger since the interface. I can't control it. Victor, no!
And there's supposed to be so much more context to that line,
everything
too.
in this scene I don't disagree with, though. Everything in this scene is perfect. It's just, you know... been fucked with. And then they shot him, and now they're going to die, and it's amazing.
Kal-El, no!
Except that shit. What the fuck? Stop taking liberties.
He's confused. He doesn't know who he is.
Pet Cemetery.
I didn't mind the Pet Cemetery joke. That's like the one little add-in from that last scene that I don't hate.
Arthur, we need to restrain him.
But God, this score is so fucking ugly.
Am I losing audio, or can anyone hear?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Alright, I can't hear anybody.
Oh.
Amber's in the chat.
Amber!
We love and miss you.
The last son of Krypton. Remember who you are. Tell me who you are.
Honestly, probably one of the best, best uses of humor in this movie right here, though.
It's so perfect, it makes the movie kind of salvageable. Because, like, when were we ever going to get something like this in live action?
I know. It's so funny!
I love it so much! Amber says this is her special cameo, and she's just popping in to say that she loves us all.
Aw, we love you too, Amber.
God, this is great.
Oh God, but the score,
Also,
honestly,
naked.
the score
And then they
score
ruin it with the
sucks.
fucking Superman theme.
It doesn't fit. Like, I don't know. It's God. We didn't have such a boner for
I just
fucking
don't understand,
nostalgia.
because, like, here's the thing: is the Donner theme is so
Done.
hopeful and bouncy and nice, and
Using
they
it
put
when he's
on
trying to
top of
kill
him
the
trying
Flash.
to punch the shit out of Barry Allen. Like, what is the message? I don't understand. Like, I don't think Danny understands.
But you know what's funny? Because remember that when that promo image came, or when that promo poster came out of Lois's speech, I think that was Danny Elfman's version of the Man of Steel theme. But it's like nowhere to be seen or heard.
I thought that Lois's speech poster was like
the upper lip!
No.
There it is. There's the fucking mouth. Gremlin mouth.
It's gonna get worse from here on out. Everyone brace. No.
God.
No.
Here it is. Here it is. Here's the line.
Like
Wait. He said it. Oh.
Not so out of character. Don't do
Worst thing
that.
that's ever happened to me. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. Nothing gets worse than that. Jesus fuck.
And watch his hand here. Watch his hand with Bruce's face when he throws him. Watch. It literally just like phased through his face.
Bye. Who's that? You guys, we could have had like 10 minutes of this minimum.
You could have had a whole movie of this and that would have been fine. If it would have just been like a Superman and Lois reuniting, I would have been fine.
For real.
Look at this. I'm like literally fucking tearing up right now.
I wrote 6 versions of this scene.
Look at it. Look at him. Look at him. He knows her. Oh.
I saw someone theorize that like Clark hadn't spoke like in Snyder's original version. Clark hadn't said a word before he spoke.
That makes so much more sense.
Obviously he hadn't spoke because he's not like cognizant enough to be like.
Yeah. So like the whole "do you bleed" exchange just first thing is clearly reshot, and it's like
Joss was
it just makes no
watching that
sense.
and being like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable. There's been no quipping for at least 2 minutes. It's very bad. I can't believe we just left a mother box. I mean, I get it. It's fine. We were fighting Superman. Whatever.
Okay, so here's a bit of the score that I don't hate. Like it ruins like the original Man of Steel score, but it's not a bad score, I think.
Yeah. Just imagine how much better it could have been, though.
Look at this moment still.
This is home.
So cute.
Imagine this being the first thing that Clark said when he came back to life.
Yeah.
But the whole "do you smell good"? I can't tell what that is because it looks like it's dubbed over her mouth. But
yeah, it's fake. It's fake as fuck.
And there's unfortunately Puffy Ben.
Don't do that.
Oh, Puffy Ben.
Poor guy.
Steppenwolf has got the third box.
So we find them. If the boxes are even close to each other, there's going to be some kind of energy surge.
Steppenwolf's gonna be keeping them somewhere where they don't read. No internet, no satellite coverage.
I don't know how he manages to make every single person
So you can't find them.
who's honestly every fucking member of the Justice League is physically attractive. I don't care who it is. Joss makes them look so ugly with this damn lighting and this color grading.
Honestly, I don't get it.
So is this a bad
Like he even like, and it's funny because he makes like everyone's face is so like it's like he makes Ray look weird. He makes Ezra look weird. Gal looks fucking pink. Like Ben is just fucking Joss Whedon.
I literally think it's just like he just like takes the original footage and just did like the Photoshop sliders until the colors were as bright as they could possibly be without everyone looking like a complete alien, and then was like, oh, fixed.
Honestly, Joss's reshoots make me not like. Oh god, wait, hold on. This is such fucking awful dialogue. Like this, I feel like this was an outtake that he left in the movie.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, it's funny because they show behind the scenes of him doing the scene, and Bruce actually says lines like, "He put a feeler out in the community, or the aquatic community. Oh, do you talk to fish?" Here he's like, "Feeler, aquatic. Do you talk to fish?" What? It makes no sense. Like,
I mean, it's not as bad as the goofy fucking face, but you know,
nothing. Oh no.
Oh my god. Oh.
Remember, and didn't Zack say like, "I never made her wear that scarf or whatever" recently, right? Like, obviously you know this wasn't Zack, but it's just so.
Which is like too bad because I really, really, really like that cape. I think that cape is a really nice homage to a bunch of really great Wonder Woman art, but like this scene is stupid.
Honestly, that's the thing. Like, there's like so many like suits and costumes and looks in this movie that are so ruined by just the way Joss directs them.
That's just not how you set the shoulder. I'm sorry.
You know you can't do this forever.
And also the only reason why that unfortunately that Ben is even wearing that weird muscle suit in the first place is because he's out of shape here. Like you can tell, it's just. Ben didn't deserve this. He honestly, I feel like when they asked him for the come back for reshoots, he should have said no. Like, I feel like Ben could have been the guy to be like, you know what, fuck this shit, no. Like, I didn't sign up for this.
Honestly, I would have rather had them tank the whole movie than what happened.
Okay,
because at least then it would have been them going down on principle.
Yeah. But can you imagine if like Ben just said no to the reshoots? How much better this movie would have been because they couldn't have reshot him. Because a lot of a lot of the reshoots are like him.
Many of the Batman parts are the worst fucking parts of this movie, and honestly, Joss would have had nothing to work with. But this is the thing: is that Ben is a leader on that set, and if Ben would have said no,
they probably
everybody
all
else would have felt empowered to say no, except probably Gal, because Gal has more pull. She could make her own decision.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing because like, oh no,
so much more. It's never gonna end.
Again, but at least like the score for me is what kind of
remember the fucking proposal scene where this was was supposed to be. Like, can we die? I'm gonna cry and throw up.
Mom's here, but you hardly spent a minute in the house.
No, that's
his fucking face.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking green screen.
What was it like? Coming back.
That's not what he would fucking say. That's not what he would fucking say. That's not what he would fucking say.
No, out of character.
I just can't believe that they didn't have an emotional conversation right here. Like it's so out of line with Lois and Clark in literally any incarnation. Like they're in tune with each other. They actually have a real relationship. Joss doesn't even know what a real fucking relationship sounds like.
No. He's like, well, these two people look good together.
The Shrek face! Oh my god!
No.
Where's RTM? RTM, we need...
RTM, where's the Shrek face? Oh my god.
Can't believe that's the kiss I got. I'm so mad.
I'm so mad.
But can you imagine? Well, I mean, Amy did get to kiss Cookie Duster Henry, though.
Rebecca says, poor Lois kissing that monster.
I was hoping it was going to take you longer to cover.
Why?
Because now I have to send you away. He needs you.
God, with the fucking CGI, he looks like Hugo Weaving. He looks like John Hamm. He looks like...
Care? Why would Lois know or care that Bruce needs him? Because they literally left her out of the loop on every fucking...
Here it is, there it is, here it is, here it is! Ah!
The Shrek face, I'm sorry, I get over it. Anyways. Okay.
Wait, here's John Hamm. There's John Hamm. So they managed to get Hugo Weaving, James Franco, and fucking John Hamm in this. Wow.
It's a star-studded cast, and everyone's playing Superman, including Shrek. That's incredible.
I will say, because this scene is Zack right here, it did make me cry. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna say that it wasn't all fucking Zack, because Zack has never had him call her Ma in his entire life. Never will. He calls her mom. What the fuck?
Yeah, wait, didn't he call her Ma in Man of Steel though? With the one scene of them sitting on the porch.
No, he says mom. Even that one scene in Man of Steel where he's on his tippy toes and he yells into the house. He says mom at the top of his lungs like a little kid.
But honestly, but for me, that didn't look at all like a reshoot for me. At least in his face, it looked like him. So I think that was Zack. And Danielle, you're just gonna have to accept it.
There's no way. It's disrespectful. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not Ma. It hasn't been Ma for 2 whole films. There's no Ma.
Oh yeah, I forgot Steppenwolf was in this movie.
I mean, she definitely shoots Diane Lane like that's definitely Zack's footage, because Diane Lane never looks that good when Josh is shooting her.
Sorry. It's Bizarrenov, Northern Russia.
We needed a lot more of this. I love this shit. I mean, Barry, that's the question we're all asking each other, because why is that Russian family in the middle of the fucking
Transport won't fly that fast.
nuclear apocalypse?
It will for me.
Look at Barry's fucking face.
So cute.
Honestly, can I just say, it's so extra of Bruce to just throw a gigantic bat logo on the front of that fucking ship. Poor Alfred just standing there on the fucking lake.
Yeah, why did he go up with them? Is he supervising? Is he there to take it down again? What's happening? His big thing doesn't run on a remote?
3 boxes together.
Oh no.
I love that we just see this shit coming. Like, oh, remember? Oh no.
And oh look, they're the 3 colors of Superman, huh? It's seriously, it's like Joss read the original script and knew about Arthur's character development and all of his worries and all of his fears and was like, well, we need to really tell the audience exactly what he's feeling at every moment in this movie and cram it into one scene.
I also think that I mean, at the end of the day, he saw a man of color with way too much dignity, and he thought he needed to knock Arthur down a peg, and that's his entire problem. That's his entire problem with everything about this. Like, his idea of intersectionality is fucking over everybody who's not a white woman in every movie. Like, Arthur could have made it through this whole movie with dignity, and no one would have been mad. No one would have been like, but what's under Arthur's hard exterior?
It's not meant... It wasn't supposed to be him to unpack. You know, this movie wasn't supposed to unpack Arthur. It was supposed to unpack Cyborg. And we didn't get any of that.
Man, this fucking family!
You guys, I can't believe there's more of this movie.
We have 30 more minutes.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling right now. This is the point where I would have turned it off watching at home.
Ooh. The music makes it worse, but it's a good shot.
Can I just say, like, I love the suits, at least for the most part, for Ben. I wish they would have given him some mobility around his neck, because even in Zack Snyder shots, he looks a little stiff in certain scenes.
Yeah, I like the old suit. Everyone can fight me. I like the BBS suit.
It's a hard thing, though, because, like, when they gave flexibility to Christian Bale in his movies, it ended up looking like kind of like weird. Like, it ended up looking like kind of turtly. Like, his neck was really, really outlined. So I'm not really sure anyone's actually figured out how to make the neck work on one of these suits. Because, like, you know, I mean, in the 90s, he had to turn his whole body. Every single time he looked to the side, it was like, turn your whole body. Turn your whole body.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at him in this movie, it's the same sort of thing.
I think it's an ongoing Batman suit conundrum that people are struggling with every single time, because I don't really know how you make a suit that looks like it's supposed to look and also turns.
Honestly, Zach. Honestly, I feel like I'm so glad he hasn't watched this monstrosity of a movie, because I feel like it would just make him so unhappy. Wait, why would he drop them off on the very edge of the fucking place?
They need the exercise. It's like when your mom drops you off on the far part of the far end of the parking lot, makes you walk to the store.
Literally.
I don't understand the purple shit. I know that everybody's trying to figure out if the purple shit was Zack or not.
It wasn't.
Why? Why is there purple shit? I don't understand what we've been doing.
Like, I guess Josh was like, oh, well, this is my version of terraforming.
At least there aren't, and that's the thing, is that I just think he looks at this and he doesn't care about the heroes. So there, like, aren't enough stakes for him. Because, like, I mean, I guess his assumption is no one will care if all five of these heroes die, which is kind of crazy. And like, I don't know, super cynical, but I guess that's where we are as a comic book movie viewing audience, is that we just don't care about the actual characters.
Oh wait, here guys, listen along. Here comes the Avengers theme. Literally the fucking Avengers theme in Justice League. Fuck you, Danny Elfman. Fuck you, Joss Whedon.
So fucking weak.
How could anyone watch? How could any executive at WB watch that and be like, "Oh, that's a good theme. Keep that in there." Honestly, I feel like none of the execs at Warner Brothers ever actually watched the Avengers movies. They just heard how popular they were, so like, okay, well, let's get the two people who are involved in those, and it'll work.
I just feel like the only way that this stupid shit with the music and the reusing it eternally is gonna end is if people start copywriting and like straight up just suing people over this shit. Like just being like, well, that's copyright violation, so we're gonna take you to court over and over and over again until you stop literally stealing music from other movies.
Honestly, I wish Marvel did sue DC or sue Warner Brothers over this.
It would definitely be worth the time, quite honestly. I mean, like, Marvel's been trying to knock DC out of the game for a long time. That would just be another, you know, ball in the air.
And why cut out Arthur and Victor in this? Why? Okay, how many times are they gonna say they're coming within the course of the next fucking 5 minutes? They've already said it like 5 times. I'm not even kidding.
This scene was gonna be so fucking cool. Like, honestly, I was gearing up for this shit, and then...
This is like literally some of the worst... Honestly, I think this is the worst parts of the movie. Like, visually, it's ugly, and it's like the worst parts of Superman, it's the worst parts of Batman, worst parts of Wonder Woman, it's like...
Honestly, if they'd removed Superman entirely from this movie, it probably would have been a better movie.
Or keep the resurrection scene, but then just have him never come back.
It would be super cool if he ditched them for this fight. Especially if they lived through it. They could be like, well, what do we need Superman for? And he would be like, good, I'm retiring. Fuck you guys.
Oh my god, they literally cut and pasted that. Oh god, here it comes in a moment. No, 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 no. 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 No.
Please. Oh no, this is so bad.
Someone put me out of my misery.
Again, more of the fucking Avengers theme.
Why the fuck? All the dialogue in this entire fucking section of the movie makes me want to.
Okay, this I think is a Zack shot. Huge problem. This is a Zack shot, I think. Now it's not.
Yes, Rebecca, I am in fact scream howling. Except I'm in the dorm room. I would be screaming more. The lip, the monster lip. Oh no.
Oh, here comes that stupid fucking building scene that makes no sense.
Oh no. Bye.
He doesn't talk like that.
He's not fucking Captain America.
Cloud doesn't like interrupt people, you know. That's just not how he talks. That's not how he is. But why do we care about this one random family in particular when there's other civilians as well? This makes no sense.
Well, that's the thing. He just sent him out for this one family. And then, like, what? Clark comes back with a whole apartment building full of motherfuckers? Like, what's happening? We were just gonna ignore them and let the purple shit eat them.
It's okay. Hold on.
So stupid.
That's not, like,
makes
how
no
it
sense.
works.
Makes no sense.
That's not how
Makes
it
no
works.
sense.
That's not how buildings work.
That's not how physics works. That's not how speed works.
I remember RTM being so livid about this after he saw the movie.
Oh my god.
Fucking music, I hate it.
I know, what's this like Spanish guitar shit? What?
They're like, what is Russia?
I hate that line. I hate. Disgusting.
Again, more of Zack's good action scenes, but surrounded by shitty CGI and a shitty score. This, I can't tell if it's a reshoot or not.
Why is he involved in everything, though? Like, can we let Cyborg do one thing? And this is me as, like, a giant Superman stan. I'm still upset that we don't, like, let Cyborg get through this.
Again, but
like,
but also, I think
focus
this...
on his face, you know.
If I'm writing this scene, this is Superman giving Cyborg a pep talk and then watching him do this. Like, that's how I
You know what's sad right here? Ben almost looks like he doesn't even look like Ben. He looks like the guy who played Batman in those stupid College Humor videos.
Yeah, he does.
Again, I can't tell if that's Zack or Joss or not, because the CGI, if there is any, I can't tell.
You can if you look up in the sky and spot your car keys flowing in the river. R2, what the fuck? That was amazing. Hope word salad.
Literally, who are they? Are they a team? Are they even people? No, the fucking freeze breath that didn't exist until this fucking scene.
Oh no!
And by that logic, wouldn't his hand freeze off? God, this ending is so fucking stupid. The CGI for Freeze Breath looks so much better on the fucking CW than it does in this shit. Draw me like one of your French girls, Jack.
Why do we always have him? I was just thinking, why do we always have him laying like that whenever we shoot him now? Like, is that Ezra's, like, I don't know, conspiracy? It's this little queer conspiracy. He's like, I'm gonna be looking sexy every time the camera comes over.
I mean, if that's his decision, then good on him for it. Ooh, the helmet. That I didn't mind.
Well placed, Booyah. If you gotta have a Booyah, that was nice.
Oh man.
Oh, the fist bump.
Shot.
You gotta have the fist
Oh,
bump.
the shot.
Honestly, I don't even like the CGI in the background, so it kind of ruins the shot for me. It's.
The cape action, though.
Oh,
That
this
was some Zack
this is a
cape
good
action.
shot. Ooh.
Now she's glad.
God, this fucking music
Fuck
is.
you, Bruce. Eat my whole shit. I hope you die in a fire, you fucking asshole. Bitch ass motherfucker. Now she's glad. Oh my god.
No,
I'm gonna
literally,
go-
just the entire civilian population consists of this one fucking family.
I know.
Like, I hate this whole thing. Like, the whole
Now,
job
this,
thing,
okay,
you know,
like,
if it was
this
that,
is a
it
good
would have
moment.
shown, like,
Shh, 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 shh.
a bunch of different families.
Shush, 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 shush. Wait. God, it's such a good moment.
You get the house back from the bank. I bought the bank.
Why couldn't we have more of this?
Henry Cavill is so fucking good, and he just reminds you in every single scene where they allow him to do shit. Also, look at this shit.
The worst job you can get in a crime lab, but my foot's in the door. Yeah, I got a recommendation from a friend. This is like a job.
Oh, I like him so much. Please give me my movie.
No.
Where's my movie?
I'm gonna cry.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
The wig.
This is not the
I
fucking
hate
Daily
it.
Planet. This is not the fucking Daily Planet. This is not the
Where
fucking
fuck
Daily
are
Planet.
we? Where are we? Where are we? Did she get a job as a temp? What's happening?
Where the
Darkness.
No.
Oh my god. Please stop
No.
listening. No.
Stop this. Stop this to me.
Don't talk. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
Okay, now here's what. Do you guys think this scene right here with Bruce and Alfred is? Do you think this is Zach or a reshoot?
Big round table.
It's gotta be Zach. Look at the way that Gal's being shot, and look at the way she's dressed.
Okay, sure, good point.
Yes, no, and no, the whole King Arthur Knights of the Round Table, like, it ties back to the BBS Camelot thing.
Absolutely,
It makes
for sure.
sense. Yeah.
And also, Diana's gay ass wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care how he runs here. It's whatever. It's.
I'm sorry. This is just how it works. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, there's plenty of good explanations, and just because you don't like the way it looks doesn't have anything to do with me.
This time, the light shone on the heroes.
Literally, all it says
Lois,
is.
shut up.
Shut up, Lois.
Oh, this is terrible.
Well, at least the movie ends with two Zack shots.
Fuck up.
At least for Batman and Superman, like the movie ends with two Zack shots.
Remind us that hope is real. That you can see it.
Here we go.
All you have to do is look.
Yeah, that's exactly how it fucking works, Joss. That's how it works.
But we finally got the
Guess
shirt
what?
rip.
Zack's daughter would have never killed herself if she fucking looked at the sky. It's fucking easy. Eat my ass. Fucking monster.
No, like the whole monologue in that Lois gave in like one of the trailers. I think it was an animated trailer. That was beautiful. Like talking about hope and stuff. Yeah, I remember that trailer so well.
That's literally the speech that he replaced with this fucking word salad, and I'm so mad about it.
Word
because
salad.
It was beautiful. It was everything. It was like the biggest payoff that the DCEU has ever had. It was like Zack's entire like fucking his like entire thesis of the last 3 films. And he replaced it with this stupid like bullshit about
Looking
like,
up.
ableist goddamn fucking shit.
Oh wait, here we go. Wait, there's one more.
Not at all, Barry.
Can you imagine if Zack directed this instead of fucking Dross?
It is a competition. It's not like a macho measuring thing.
But if I win, you're off the team.
What team?
If I win, Bruce said something
Look
about you
how
having
much
to take us
chest
all
hair is
front.
popping out of Henry's suit.
Now that's a betrayal. I feel stung by that. Okay, but if I win, I get to tell everyone.
Deal. Which coast?
I've never seen the Pacific. Which is that way. Because...
How cute could this have been when it's not at all? Fake mouth. Why? Can a man never stop smiling? Is the new law that you can't fucking, relax your face for 15 seconds? Why? Why? Well, that happened.
I mean, do you guys want to stick around for the end scene?
Yes, that's worth.
You know what's funny? Without the actual end credit scenes for either of them, the movie is only an hour and 50 fucking minutes.
Yep. They wanted a short-ass film. They wanted to be able to play it as many times as possible in theaters and milk it for as much money as possible. And they deserved what they got in the least financially successful film in the franchise. They absolutely deserved every part of this bad reception.
Honestly, this movie
What's fascinating about it is that, people reviewed it good. People were like, yeah, it was a pretty good film. And then, it didn't make any money. And it made our point exactly, which is that the people who are saying that these movies are garbage aren't going to see the movies even if they think they're good. They don't see them a second time, and good reviews don't make anybody go see a DC film. So, all of this was for naught.
And also, they forget to acknowledge the fact that, BVS made as much money as it did because of the people who loved the movie. Wonder Woman was good because people watched it repeat. Suicide Squad made that much money because people kept talking about it, kept seeing it. Justice League people saw it once, maybe twice at most, and wanted to forget it. That should say something to you. I just don't understand how this version of the movie came out the way it did, and it makes literally no sense to me.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think after this, I'm probably not gonna watch this movie ever again.
I think I've had my fill for my rest of my life.
I need a cut that takes everything out except for the hair smelling, Ray talking to Silas, and the scene in the prison with any scene in the prison with Barry and his dad. That's what I need. It starts with the montage at the beginning and ends with probably Superman's resurrection, because past that I don't really actually give a shit.
Or just at the resurrection, just cut to the scene at the farm with Clark and Bruce, and then show Bruce looking up the back signal, show Clark doing the shirt rip, and then end it. But so did voodoo and everything work well for you guys though? Did you guys have any issues at all?
I never had any issues at all, so I mean maybe I was the person who got in first, so I was prioritized or something, but I didn't have any problems.
That's good. I'm glad you guys were able to watch that. And like I said, you guys can feel free to watch any of the movies that are there, because I literally never use any of those, and I watch them all on iTunes anyway. God, doesn't it suck that like we never got a true sequel to BVS?
Yeah, that's the worst of it. Like, no, that's the thing though. Like, it's that it ruins my viewing of like Man of Steel and BVS, which are like my favorite movies of all time.
Same.
But like the fact that this movie exists, just makes the experience of watching BVS like much less enjoyable now, because I know that there's no satisfying conclusion. You know.
Literally, we rewatched
BVS is like a second. Yeah, it's like a second act. Like, it's like an Empire Strikes Back without the Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean?
It was super depressing.
Well, and it's funny because like
we literally watched Batman vs Superman last week, and at the end of it, I was like, "Wow, it really sucks that Superman's still dead and is never coming back."
Pretty much. Yes. And Al just said we should do a Watchmen commentary, and guys, okay. Firstly, we have to watch the 4-hour version. This is not an arc. If we do Watchmen, we have to do the 4-hour version.
I only own like the 3-hour version though.
No, it's like 3 hours and 50 minutes, including the credits, or something like that.
Wait, let me see, because I own it. Let me see.
Yeah, like the full extended edition with the animated bits and everything.
Well, I know Zack's vision is the director's cut. The rest of the stuff, I think he said recently that like that version isn't even necessarily his doing necessarily.
Oh, I don't know. I just got the full version, like the director's cut version.
Yeah, because I have the director's cut. That's like the 3-hour version. Even then, that it still holds up. It still fucking holds up. Guys, just we were so fucking hyped about Justice League. Like the amount.
I remember.
Like, do you remember how excited we all were leading up to it? And like we all like every single time everyone said like, "Oh, this is gonna be Joss Whedon's movie," we were like, "No, this is still gonna be Zack's movie. This is still blah blah blah." It's just it's like Warner Brothers literally spat in our faces, like beat the shit out of us, left us in the dirt, and walked away yelling "fuck you." That's literally what watching this movie feels like. It's
like why couldn't they have just dismissed us? Why couldn't they have just said, "Oh, we're going in a new direction. Here's your new director, Joss Whedon," and we would have been like, "Oh, okay, bye forever," and everything would have been fine, and we would have been sad and kind of bitter, but not like, toxic, everyday waking up screaming, kind of like imagining what could have been bitter. Like, this is like a whole other level, and it's super sad because it could have just been so easily avoided if they'd just been like, "Well, we've decided that we're going to dismiss Zack because we don't like what he's doing, and we want."
Okay, guys, it's time.
God, this was so cool seeing this in theater.
Honestly, it kind of took the edge off of the film because it was just actually good.
It was just so
and it was
good.
So great to see Jesse again
and Joe, because I didn't think you were actually.
I was like a wound up mess when I watched Justice League. When you see this, like your whole body relaxes. You're like, whew. It's good.
And it sucks because this was originally supposed to set up Ben's solo movie, but then they changed the dialogue for Jesse in a second.
More important things to do. We have to level the playing field, Mr. Wilson. To put it plainly, shouldn't we have a league of our own?
Why didn't they use the actual fucking Lex score that also uses violins? Like, seriously?
Oh, okay, that's over.
That's it.
That's it. That's the end.
Thank you for everyone who's listening and watched along with us for putting up with this. I know I asked a lot of everyone here. I know it wasn't easy. It's so weird because like when we do like the BVS commentary, we do the Man of Steel commentary, hell, even for the Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad commentaries, it's like there's even like with Suicide Squad, obviously that movie was heavily meddled with, but there's still an amount of enjoyment watching this or watching that movie. With Justice League, it's just, it feels like literally such a huge slap in the face to all of us who have been fans of these movies from day one. It's just, I don't know. I really fucking hate Warner Brothers still.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't understand why, after all this time, they haven't even, like, what is so bad about releasing the Snyder Cut? Like, true, like, and here's the thing. I know that people are like, oh, well, it doesn't fucking exist. It exists. Like, there's so much footage there. How can you, like, logistically say, oh, well, it's not, it's just not real? I'm like, really? You gotta sit there and tell me that all of that time Zack spent shooting the entirety of the movie isn't done? Really? Really? It's so fucking baffling that people keep saying that it doesn't exist. It does exist. It's a matter of whether or not Warner Brothers will ever release it. And I think Warner Brothers is so stupid not to, because honestly, if they did, it would make them so much fucking money. It would definitely outsell the fucking theatrical cut, big time. And it would get fans of the franchise back on board and make them want to watch these movies again. Because so many people are so hesitant to watch Aquaman, so hesitant to watch Wonder Woman 84, so hesitant to watch Shazam. People are so hesitant because of the way Justice League came out. And the way that Warner Brothers really treated the fandom like shit. And it's just, I don't understand why they just don't just do it. Like, it baffles me. Like, I don't want this to be like a Superman 2 situation where they literally wait like 25, 30 years before they even begin to even talk about it.
I just feel like it must be that, like, being right is more important than being rich and successful. Which is just annoying because, like, first of all, you guys are all about money anyway. And second of all, like, everyone knows that you're empirically wrong. Like, I get that there's a lot of media kissing your ass right now, and there's a lot of media being like, finally, you're turning the DCEU around and shit. But, like, the numbers don't lie. Like, you can't get around the numbers, and the numbers say that you screwed the pooch on Justice League. And a lot of people, I'm betting, got fired based on that decision. Like, you know, low-key fired, because we're not going to admit we're wrong, but, like, people got fired.
Especially, unless they can't invest that much movie in reshooting it and almost in its entirety, redoing the score, all that heavy marketing, for not even breaking even. Like, jobs, like, people, like, literally lost their jobs over this fucking movie. And for what? Like, this is the movie you wanted to be proud of? This is the movie you want to tell everyone, oh, this is the right direction we wanted to head in? This movie is so fucking terrible in its execution. It's just... I will never understand why. Like, they should have just stuck to their guns and kept Justice League the way it was. It would have made more money, and the critic reception wouldn't have even been that much better, if at anything. It's at 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's what they did all this for, was 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. All that pandering they did to the fucking critics, all the pandering they did to the fucking fanboys who never were fans of this franchise to begin with, all the pandering to the people who just weren't fans of DC to begin with. Like, you were never going to win those people over. So it was so stupid to think that they even could in the first place. And look what happened. 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, a movie not even breaking even, and you alienated the entire fucking fan base. Like, I don't know a single person in the fandom who truly enjoys Justice League. I don't know a single fucking person. Like, I don't.
Well, there are a couple people, but they've all blocked me, so I can't tell you anything about them.
Well, in my own experience, I've never seen anyone who actually, like, legit likes the movie.
No, and
I mean,
most people are like,
even the people who do like the movie are kind of like, oh, well, it's better than, it's better than other stuff.
BVS.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like, people will only say it's good to shit on BVS.
Absolutely.
They don't actually think that it's good in its own right. Nobody thinks that it's good in its own right.
Even like right now, like, because like the main menu for the movie on Apple TV is like the Alex Ross poster, and it's the movie doesn't deserve that poster. They don't. Like, that poster is so fucking good, and it's just everyone involved deserves so much fucking better, except for Danny Elfman and Joss Whedon, because fuck them. As far as like the talent goes, like, I feel like one of the people I feel the sorriest for in terms of like just like who was in the film is Ben. Not only because of the way that fans are treated because of BVFs and everything, but just like he thought he was done with this kind of behavior after Daredevil. He's like, you know what? Like, I'm done. And then Zack brought him on for Batman v Superman, where he kicked fucking ass, and people hate that movie because they don't understand it. I think that's really what it comes down to. People to not understanding it, expectations, and just not liking Zack Snyder, and like expecting it to be like The Dark Knight, or expecting it to be like the MCU. It was never going to be either of those things. And Ben in my opinion, is the best live action version of Batman. And my wife recently was trying to convince me that like I'm just in denial about it because I'm a DC fanboy. No, I called his performance in this is mediocre at best. Like, and that's not his fault. He didn't. If I were him, I would have done the same exact thing. I would have mailed the fuck out of that performance because the movie doesn't deserve it, especially after everything that Zack went through, everything that the cast went through, everyone involved went through, and the families and everyone. Like, I wouldn't blame Ben for leaving. So if he leaves, I'll understand why. But
I'll be heartbroken, but I understand,
This is the thing that the Snyder Cut, I think, has lost in the midst of its movement. And that is that this isn't about the fans and what the fans do or don't deserve. This isn't about us seeing special footage. This isn't about what we get from Zack. This is about disrespect to every artistic person involved in this project. They all had to put their names on this piece of shit, and half of them are super upset about the content. The other half are like lukewarm about the content, and some of these actors look literally uncomfortable in the reshoots that they were forced to do. There is something wrong with the culture that'll allow that to happen in the midst of a project like this. You don't get to just change the terms on these people and just say, oh, now you work for this totally different dude. Like, I'm sorry, that shouldn't be the way that we run things. And the fact that we can't leverage the Snyder Cut movement into some sort of reform for this kind of stuff and to actually criticize what was actually done by the studio, instead of being like, no, the Snyder Cut totally exists and it's way better. Like, I don't care if it was a worse movie. What was done to Zack, what was done to everybody in the cast, all of these people, what was done to every artist that put their name on this product, was unjust and wrong. And that's where I stand in the whole thing. Like, I'm just like, I don't, honestly, it would be cool to get a Snyder's Cut, but I would much rather see everybody, honestly, I would much rather know that everybody involved in that film got an apology from Warner Brothers for the way that they were treated.
Yeah, especially the actor who voiced Steppenwolf, Kieran Hines, is that his name? Can't remember his name, but yeah, that guy, like, he was so pissed, and I can totally understand why, because, like, again, I mentioned earlier on, it's like, Steppenwolf's character is so complex, and they were gonna go into his relationship with Darkseid and all that. And, okay, firstly, as a side note, now that they've completely wrecked Steppenwolf's character as like a harbinger of Darkseid, then that whole Darkseid scene in BVS makes no bloody sense. But anyway, but like, just by completely removing the complexity of Steppenwolf's character, it's just by making him like a stock villain. Like, I feel so bad for this guy to have his name attached to that, like something that he it's like clearly not a reflection of any of the work he put in as an actor. It's like almost as an insult to him as a person, as a professional,
It's manipulative too.
Yeah.
Because it's not really his face, it's not really his acting, it's not really what he signed on for, it's not the emotional range that he was showing, and most of the things that the choices that he made as an actor don't make any sense because the rest of the context is gone. So like it's totally manipulative, and what he saw on the screen wasn't what he was trying to create as an artist, and that's like a really ugly thing to do to someone who's trying to do something really beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you guys want to end this on a more positive note, I'm not sure if Voodoo and Movies Anywhere has the feature. But if you want, we can end it off by watching the Return of Superman bit.
Can you send a link on the group chat?
Okay, like I can do that too.
So I can't watch it. I can watch it, but I can't really comment. So I'm gonna watch it with you guys though. I'll press play when you guys say go.
Okay, so we'll do it. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Oh god, the music, the music, the music, the music.
God, the black suit. This movie could have been so much more. It could have been such a nice bookend to this trilogy.
Like I'll mention over and over, I love how this movie breathes.
I know.
Like how these scenes breathe. Not the movie.
I love this so much.
I'm assuming you're Alfred. Master Kent.
God, this was so good.
You said you'd come. Now let's hope you're not too late.
Less than 2 minutes of that, and it was just... why?
No, like, I love, like, the pace, you know, like, you can feel... It's... No, okay, that's the thing about Zack Snyder, is, like, in that he's so aware of, like, the aesthetic that he's putting forward in his movies, and like he's so careful about like the pacing of it, you know, like you can feel the rhythm of the scene and it flows and you feel that it's right, you know. Like I like to, like, you know, I'm a person of nervous disposition and I have a lot of panic days, and I love watching like the first half of Man of Steel when I'm having those kind of panicky moments, because like the way Zack Snyder really takes his time with scenes, especially when you've got such a powerful soundtrack to accompany it, it's like it's so calming, it's so perfect, you know, it feels so right.
Yeah.
And like, he just knows, and that calming presence is exactly it's like exactly the kind of vibe that Zack Snyder has been putting forward for his version of Superman, you know, like that's what a true good person is in this world right now, you know, like it's just a steady, calm presence, you know, not someone who's like aggressively pushing their ideals. Like that's good in its own way as well, but like the kind of goodness, the kind of like pure, reliable goodness, steady, calm presence that this Superman has, you know, it's what makes this Superman so special to me. It makes him like feel like somebody you can trust, and that's brought forward, you know, it not just in the way Henry Cavill plays his character, which is spectacularly, you know, he's absolutely perfect for the part, but it's also in the way that Zack frames the character, the way his scenes are set up, the way his dialogue flows, and you can tell it's very different from when Whedon tries to write his dialogue when it's just full of quips and nonsense, because like, yeah, Clark has a sense of humor, but it's like a kind of like low-key kind of sense of humor where he's still calm and he's not quippy and manic all the time, like all of Whedon's characters are.
It's a reflection of insecurity, and I think like I've felt this way since I got into this whole thing, like since I got into the genre, which is that like the way that princesses are instruction manuals for femininity, superheroes have been instruction manuals for masculinity, and that's what Zack is doing. He's injecting a net good into this genre by adding his Superman. His Superman is such a breath of fresh air compared to what we get in every single other iteration of any superhero. Like, we get this, like, you know, I mean, like, you see, like, the difference between, like, the two different Thors that we get in the MCU. We've got, like, you know, like just kind of soft, unassuming, frequently just like sort of like confused Thor in his original films, and then we have turned him into what we're more comfortable with, which is a character that's constantly talking, a character who like shitty men can relate to, a character who makes like shitty jokes about feminism, you know, like all that stuff. Like, that's the baggage that Snyder's Superman doesn't have. And the absence of that baggage, and like you said, like the space that he gives Superman is so important, is so big, and it's really, really good. It's a great influence on the whole thing. And the thing is like, it's the exact reason why they're trying to stomp it out. Like scenes like that where it's just Clark sort of interacting with someone, you know, making micro expressions. People are very uncomfortable with that stuff, and like for a reason. Yeah,
and that's why it's like especially looking at this Return of Superman scene, just like giving Clark the second to breathe. Like, he's not. I know people hate this about Zack Snyder's Superman, but like having him not talk for a while, it says so much more than him making quips every 2 seconds about like truth, the justice, and hope, and car keys, and blah blah blah. Like, no, just like let the fucking character be Superman. Let him be Clark Kent. Let him be who he is. He's not like in this version. He's not the version that Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers want him to be. This is who he is. He's silent. He's more reserved. Like, he's quietly reacting to things. Like, he doesn't. Like, he takes in the world around him, and then, like, he's just, like, even when he lands in front of Alfred, like, he's, like, almost, like, so humbled to meet Alfred for the first time. Like, he's like, oh, wow, I'm in the presence of Alfred. This is amazing. But he's not gonna, like, just seeing his little reactions like that, it's just, it says so much more about the character and about his performance and about Zack as a director. So much more than, like, the things that Joss fucking has him say in the theatrical cut. It's just, yeah, so much loss is lost on this movie, and I don't think I'll ever be over it, even if when we do get a Snyder cut, because the theatrical cut will always kind of be there, like staring at me in the face. But yeah, and so I know you guys actually have to get going. So if you guys want to go ahead and wrap up here and tell everyone where they can find you online.
Okay, I'm Jean. You can find me at Badjectivity on Tumblr. I'm really not on anything else.
Okay. Okay, and then Danielle's at Social Justice League on Tumblr. The Bravest Heart on Twitter. She has to get going, so she couldn't wrap it properly. And Rebecca's still here. She's still in the chat. She's Endeavor Network on Tumblr. Al's Speed of the Oppressed on Tumblr. And Outspeed on pretty much everywhere else. My name is Nick. You guys can find me here at Nerdy Nick on YouTube, True Man of Steel on Twitter and Tumblr. And yeah, so thanks, Gene, for joining me today. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Rebecca, for everyone who was here. I know this was a lot to ask of you guys, because I know no one really wanted to rewatch this, but it was still fun shitting on the movie. So, yeah, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. And thank you again for everyone listening. If you guys like what you see here, we do the DC Films podcast. Our episodes have been kind of scattered as of late. That's only because our schedules have been super crazy hectic, and it's hard to get everyone lined up. But we do have like several dozen episodes. We have like 32, 33 episodes or something like that up on the channel. You guys can listen to those if you guys are DCEU fans. If you guys want to listen to any of our other stuff, we have a new podcast called the Bitter Geeks Podcast. We have one episode out, and then we're trying to work on doing another one. So yeah, thank you guys again for listening, and until next time, Have a good one.